What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Eye2Eye podcast. I'm Kill Bill.
I'm J. Soul.
I'm E.
Kill Bill.
We got two Kill Bills.
Wait, you're not Kill Bill.
King Diggs.
Yeah, I don't like that you were staring at me while saying
Kill
that too.
Bill.
All right, and we have a special guest
Nobody
here.
else is seeing it.
Marquise.
Marquise, welcome back, buddy. Everybody remember Marquise? We had him back, what podcast we have you on? The first one.
The
Like
Matrix.
5 of them, like most intelligent little kid I've ever.
What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. What are we talking about? I'm so excited to talk about this shit today.
Jeez, Jay, keep it in your pants. Anyway, we're talking about the
UFOs.
It's not just the UFO. The release statements from the Pentagon and the UFO, the sightings that the naval base, or not the naval base, the fighter pilots saw.
What's the
And
pentagon?
It's kind of hand in hand.
It's a United States government.
Okay.
It's the circle building in Washington D.C.
Well, it's not
okay.
a circle.
It's a pentagon.
I'm pretty sure. Is that
What's
what it
it,
is?
a
The Pentagon?
Oh
What's
no,
it called?
I'm thinking of the. Well,
It's a hexagon.
Yes,
No,
yes,
not
it's a
hexagon,
pentagon,
the
but
five.
it's
not
to
circle.
dumb it down, it's like a circle.
Anyway, the Pentagon's part of the government. It's not even about that. It's that Pentagon is part of the government. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just one building and one sector of the government.
But
okay?
they release all those type of statements and
Yeah,
stuff that
Alright.
goes on. in the world.
official government statements from
Um,
one spot. So we're talking about the disclosure of UFOs, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what's
pretty
going
much.
on?
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, obviously we'll break it down a lot more. But what's going on is there was a fighter pilot. Everybody, they released that video. Everyone's seen that one video of the fighter pilot seeing a little tic tac shooting back
Yeah,
and forth.
we all saw it, right?
And
It was more than just one video, though, right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, but it's the one.
that's what
video
initially
that
what
made
started it.
headlines. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like,
was the one
over the
video
past
that
few
made
months.
headlines. So pretty much, they came out with that video and released it and said, "Oh my God, there's possible UFOs, blah blah blah." And now they're saying that they're coming out and saying that they have no evidence whatsoever of any UFO or highly or intelligent, beings or whatever the case.
They
is.
say they have no information on it. That's what they're
Pretty
saying.
much, but
Really?
So the United States government is saying they have no information on the UFOs.
But they still haven't come out with any statement
I
whatsoever.
thought that
on
they
it.
were
They that's pretty much the only statement
they're
came
saying
out.
they're
I
there.
thought that they were saying that we don't have an explanation for what it is.
That's what they were saying at first, and now they're saying they have no evidence whatsoever.
but that's the same thing, basically.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're saying they
Yeah.
don't.
But the way they're wording it, they're saying now that it's not that what they saw. They don't believe was a UFO.
So then what was it?
Well, they're calling it a UAP.
It's
That's fucking semantics.
Yeah, I know it is semantics. Completely.
They love
which
semantics.
Which is
though.
Yeah,
why.
it's
Their thing.
semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why we're having this podcast, because people out there could easily think that this is like the only information the government has, where there's evidence out there from the United States government that they know exactly what's going on, basically.
I mean,
Literally
we touched on
since,
this
like,
before, though, right?
The
yeah, so we did.
1950s or earlier than that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's when pretty much they started. Like, and for the people who are wondering how they even come out with this type of research, they do have their own program. The government has its own program called ATIP, and it's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
Okay.
And pretty much that's exactly, and of course they have to make it all technical, but that's pretty much who goes into depth with all the UFO crafts, unidentified, flying objects and aliens and all that type of stuff. Those are the ones who do the research on all that type of stuff. And they have a deadline. Sometime in June, they have a deadline to actually make a statement on any unclassified reported UFO
Yeah,
sightings.
I just pulled up some article that's saying that they technically haven't officially released what
Yeah,
they're supposed to. yet.
Exactly,
Okay,
and
okay.
they have a deadline sometime in June where they have to release something of what they have.
It's probably like the 30th.
I think a fake alien invasion is coming.
That's what I'm
July 4th.
I
That's
think
what
it's
I'm.
coming.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Independence Day, but I'm under that impression as well. Like that they're gonna try to. I mean, when doesn't the government try to use something to scare
Exactly.
the public?
Exactly.
So
that's their number one tactic.
yeah.
It's fair.
So like, I don't know. I don't want to say all of it yet. I want to gradually get into it in the podcast.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a possible fake
One thing that
invasion.
questions me though is like, how they came out and said they have no evidence on any spacecraft technology, referring to the one that was seen in the video. If you have no evidence, like that should be clear-cut evidence, which comes
Right.
which
Because I mean, that's
Yes.
what an
Yeah.
unidentified flying
Exactly.
object.
Exactly
But
what
there-
it
It's
is.
the
but
definition.
If you can
of it.
identify it, then tell me.
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
obviously, you know, you have
Okay,
you
I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
even think about it like that. If you
Yeah.
can identify it, like
then tell me what it is.
okay.
Yeah.
But and at the same time, like you do have the people out there, and like I'm sure a lot of the government saying, "Oh, well, it's China, well, it's Russia." If they
Yes.
had, if
Yes.
China or Russia had that type of technology, they would have the world in their hands. They would run the world. They would rule all of us. They
Okay.
can do things that we would never be able to do.
They're calling them UAPs now publicly, and it's unidentified aerial phenomenon.
So
so-
literally
so-
semantics.
Yeah, so pretty
Exactly,
much
the same
what,
exact
yeah, what
thing.
they're saying that it's possible that it's not even a flying object.
No, it's probably a weather balloon because that's their
Well,
go-to
That's what they.
explanation
Well,
with
I was,
everything.
It's a
I was
hoax.
watching a video that
Two
actually
pranksters
I think
came
it-
up with
it
this
was-
hoax.
yeah,
It's
it-
Santa Claus.
There you
Yeah.
go. There was the pilot who was flying the spacecraft at the time was telling the story on what happened, and there was a lady that was interviewing him for it, and she was even saying, she was like, they have to stop with this whole weather balloon nonsense. And he was like, no, you're absolutely right, they need to, because you see that it's going against the wind at 10 I forgot how he did some military code, but pretty much they were saying how it was going against the wind, like even 10-mile-per-hour
Yeah.
winds. But
Yeah.
a weather balloon cannot go against the wind; it goes with the wind.
Even in the one documentary that I watched, I think it was called Phenomenon. There was
that's a coincidence, but continue.
it was literally an ex-military guy who found the crash site of a UFO, and there was metals and
I'm pretty sure we did this entire conversation.
Yeah, I was about to say.
well, no,
we had this
I'm tying
conversation.
it into the weather balloon.
Okay.
That there was metals everywhere and stuff like that, and they ended up coming out with an official statement that, oh, it was a weather balloon. And then the military guy came onto this documentary, and he's like,
Too much.
he came onto this documentary, and he's like, I was in the military for like 20 years or 30 years, and you want to tell me I don't know what a weather balloon looks like?
Was
Like,
this
I
a-
know
was-
what a weather
wait,
balloon
was
looks
it-
like, and
was-
it was not this.
Was this the documentary?
Yeah.
The Phenomenon
Yeah.
documentary?
Yeah, yeah,
Say it's the same exact pilot, same one.
Oh yeah. Okay then. Yeah. So he was basically like, I know what
I
a
know
weather
what I
balloon
saw.
is.
I know what
and
I saw.
this was not a weather balloon. Like, you think I got aluminum foil mixed up with like actual like random, a metal that I've never seen before? Like, that's not what happened.
I think it's his name is Luis Elizondo. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure, but he's the one that did it. He had emails.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He had emails with the government
We talked
going
about
back
this
and
guy the
forth.
last time,
Yeah,
didn't we?
that's what I'm saying. We had,
I don't know. I don't remember talking about him
pretty sure
at
we
all.
did.
I remember talking about the video, not him.
Not
Continue,
specifically
continue,
him.
continue.
Anyway,
continue. He's the former director of.
What?
Oh, okay,
Well,
that's
yes.
exactly
What
what
he?
you're
Yeah,
talking
he's the former U.S. Army counterintelligence special agent and former employee of the Office of Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. And he had emails with the government going back and forth or whatever. Or I don't remember what the actual story was, but pretty much every email that he had that had to do with that UFO, they wiped them all out, deleted all of them.
Okay. So they're just deleting all the shit and,
Yeah.
and not trying to.
It's not there. It didn't happen.
Wow, this is
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, the point we're trying to make here is that they're lying, and they're probably gonna lie and use it to their advantage for whatever reason. And why would they want to fake an alien invasion? That's the real question. Why the hell do they want to fake
Control.
alien invasion? Control what? What's the overall? What's the goal? What's the purpose and goal behind it? Because like
Okay.
something like 9/11, we see the purpose is Patriot Act. That's the outcome
Well,
of it.
think of it like that. Now, you have if they fake an alien invasion, you're obviously going to say that you have the firepower to beat this alien invasion. That you obviously, what was the number one rule on why they don't want people to find out about aliens?
For the technology, probably.
No,
That-
they
that's-
didn't. No, they didn't want people to find out in the fear of them freaking the fuck
Like
out.
panic, like
Okay.
worldwide
Okay.
panic.
Yeah.
So with that being said, now if they fake an alien invasion to have that come and everyone's freaking out, they say everybody calm down. We have the ammo to
But-
fight back, and we fight back and we win. Then everybody's under their control.
Well, everyone would probably be like, "Oh my God, our government's so amazing. They protected us. You know, we
Under
should
their
trust them in
control.
the future."
Under their control.
I agree with you both, but I think it goes farther than that because
Obviously,
it's
there's more
like
to it.
Reagan. Well, no, it's Reagan said the only thing that's going to unite the entire Earth is an existential threat. That's exactly what Reagan said in one of his speeches.
Mm-hmm.
So, meaning there's it's one world government. It's the new world order that comes up in everything in the Agenda 21, all that. Because
So you're saying everyone would get together as a world?
Yeah.
But
As
isn't the
like a
we
global
watched
thing.
Independence Day. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
the
Usually that's what
government
happens.
Usually wants to keep us separated.
They want to keep it so it'll just be states how we have now. We have 50 separate states in the United States, but it would just be by the country and then each. It's the same
Yeah.
concept. We're
I
not
get
going
what
to
you're
change New
saying.
Jersey.
Looking
You know what I
out.
mean?
Yeah,
New
yeah.
Jersey's going to be here.
Yeah.
It's just.
You could
but-
also say, looking outside the box, this could potentially be something to start World War III.
That would be World War III. It wouldn't be. That is
well,
World War III.
yes, but what I'm saying though is potentially as if it happens, if that's what's really going to happen, then that's what it's going to be for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Probably
what I
gonna
mean?
hide World War III from us because if they're gonna fake the invasion, they're probably gonna from the invasion. If they say they have the ammo power from it, they have control over the public, and if everybody and if all the governments want control over their public, what's really going to be happening is World War III. World War III will be the alien invasion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I mean, and the issue and the thing is nobody will ever know. You know, obviously you still have your doubters, you still have your believers, you still have the people in the tin hats. You know, you have all of them.
Would
but
you guys
nobody,
think that? Do you think that aliens don't exist?
Us,
no. I
personally?
mean,
Or
you mean
talking
us or talking to them?
Well, no, because you're saying there's still people that wear their tin hats or whatever.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying you have the crazies, you have the believers, and then you have the non-believers. There's no in between. You know, people dabble and maybe not, but you have the crazies.
Well, it just makes you crazy to think that it's not a thing.
Yeah,
Is
well,
it-
I think that's what it is.
yeah.
saying
Well,
if you think that
obviously,
you're the
if you
the
honestly think
audacity to think that you're the only living thing on this.
in this
in the whole
universe,
Yeah,
There's some
that's
people that
crazy.
say oh no, I think that there's life on other planets, but it's more like an amoeba of some sort, and I'm like, really?
does
that
Like you
really-
think we're the smartest, most
Yeah.
intelligent life in the entire
Please.
universe?
Facts.
But the
Facts.
thing is the fact is that if they come out and they actually say something about this being real and aliens being real or whatever the case is, they're gonna try and make them out to be a potential threat.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's what's going to really start the whole World War III thing. The only way anybody will ever know what they're really about is if this UFO just so happens to come flying down to the White House right on the grass and they come out and say, "We come in peace." That's the only way we will ever know the actual truth and
But they would
Well,
just
even
definition
if
of
they
what-
do,
That's not
even
what
if they
happened.
did do that, I'm pretty sure it would
they
be
would
covered
still
up.
try and flip the script.
And then people
Yeah.
would be like, "No, we saw it. They came in peace." And then they would be the crazy conspiracy theorists that you shouldn't listen to.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
and
no,
it's-
they're not here to harm us. They're actually friendly.
Yeah.
Or
And the sad thing is, granted, that's funny, but it's not funny. It's really not because you're right, and that's what's crazy.
And it makes me sad because it's almost like they're selfish because they want whatever. Let's say the aliens did come down, they would want to be the first ones to know everything and kind of capitalize on whatever the aliens would have to offer. So they have an intention to,
can we
to
stop
keep
saying
it.
that there's a possibility? Can we just say we know that they know there's aliens and they're probably fucking working with them because that's not
Yeah,
that's
they're
not a
most
secret.
definitely in contact
Yeah.
with them.
Saying,
Well,
saying that
yeah, I
what
mean,
if
but-
I get it, it's trying to be
Right,
nice,
well,
but
and,
realistically,
these-
you don't think
the
that's
world is
true?
a fucked up place. So, if they're working with aliens, are these aliens fucked up aliens?
But what would the aliens have
Think
to
about that.
gain from us?
We're
Well, they-
batteries. They explained how much energy a person makes per day. Per day, you make 2,000 miles of energy if you were driving a car, an electric car, or something crazy like that. Humans are batteries. They say in a lifetime, the energy that you have is enough to send a rocket to the moon, and that's why they say, "I love you to the moon and back" or something like that, because you're saying that all your energy in your body for your whole entire lifetime is "I love you that much." I read it somewhere. I looked up how long, how much
So
energy
beautiful.
a person. But anyway, we're us humans. We can create electricity. We're energy. We have energy that's created and emitted, and why can't they harness it? why wouldn't they harness it if they could figure it out, and such an intelligent like life form can? So the ones working with the government, what do you think? What kind of aliens would work with the United States government, who does all this other
So
shit?
we would be just an example of like a natural resource they're farming.
I mean, if look,
Yep.
what I can say is if we want to really get into detail with that, I mean, I don't know which alien is which, but I do know that there's like 3 different types of species that somehow or supposedly, quote unquote, visited us. You have the gray aliens, which were the evil ones. You have the blue ones, which are the good ones, and then you have Jay likes to call them the reptilians.
Everybody calls them. That's not just Jay, but I don't
No,
believe.
I'm pointing you out because you talk about it the most.
Jay has a special connection with the
Wasn't any-
reptilians.
yeah.
This is the whole thing. I
Jay's a
don't-
reptilian himself.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Listen, I actually have evolved my view, and after learning a lot about
From green scale to
aliens.
blue scale.
After learning a lot about aliens, I don't think that all reptilians are bad. I don't think that all grays are bad. I think that there's just sects of them, like sectors of them, just like there is in humans.
yeah.
No,
Like we're-
possibly, yeah.
So I don't think
Yeah.
that, and I think that the ones that are working with the government are bad, and I think that the ones that that aren't just know what's going on and know it's grander. This is a whole grander scheme.
Well, did you hear
of
about that story about the
universe.
aliens blowing up the underground bases all over the world?
I
The
didn't hear.
nuclear,
Yeah, they were, like,
it was in
blowing
the
them all
documentary, the phenomenon.
So
But
that
they-
has to
they
be
didn't
like the
blow
good
it up,
aliens,
though, right?
right? Like
They
were
they
destroying it.
they shined
They
lasers,
showed
lasers
on,
on the nukes.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
being
Well-
like, hey,
What if it's?
We know they're there.
You could say maybe
Well,
it's
that,
good, but
that we talked about.
you could
yeah.
maybe
Or
say
was it a threat?
I don't exactly. What if
Yeah,
it? What if
yeah.
it's? a
I
threat?
think it was more of just like, look, you're not smart. Those are your nukes right there.
I don't
Maybe.
think it was like that. I personally, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter what we think because we'll never know.
you got to think
We
of
will.
how
We could know.
I think that it was because I think they were shining lasers on it to bring light to it and be like, what are you guys doing? Why do you have this? You guys are going to destroy each other.
To be fair, too, after that happened, like we haven't nuked anybody since when? Hiroshima was the last one. So
Well,
like,
did you know during Hiroshima, a bunch of UFO crafts actually tried to stop it from happening, and the
I never heard that, but I believe it.
the fighter pilots actually shot him down, or didn't shoot him down, but like pretty much made him retreat.
Good. That's we were talking about.
Good.
What do you mean good?
That.
The fighter pilots made the UFOs retreat.
Oh, I don't believe that. How?
I-
UFOs are so.
Yes, but if they're idle, I
Well,
don't.
maybe,
I don't know.
maybe
I
the
don't,
UFOs
look,
were like, okay, these people aren't listening to us. It's not worth,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
So,
it could be a
losing-
lot of that. I don't.
Wow, maybe they're like, it's not worth losing
Yeah.
our one of.
Look,
a few
it's
people,
it's
like-
just a story I read up on. It wasn't
No,
really
that-
like
it
much. You
could-
know what I mean?
no, but-
during Hiroshima, as the planes were about to drop the nukes or on their way, a bunch of UFOs tried to, intervene and stop it from
Okay.
happening. And
But
I
don't you
guess-
think with their advanced technology, if they really
would be
wanted
able
to
to
stop
do
it,
it.
they would be able to?
I think, but
I don't think they're
the,
trying
well,
to-
the,
Are
see,
you
okay,
really gonna-
okay.
How
okay,
do we
wait,
know
hold
they
on.
have advanced technology?
Well,
because
I
a
mean,
UFO
that's kind
with-
of obvious.
Because a UFO with a
Just
UFO
from
with
the UFOs
physics.
alone.
How
Yeah,
would we know
UFOs
about a
alone.
UFO if it wasn't for some sort of?
Well,
It had to start from something. What was the ever first UFO sighting? Because it's just a name
Roswell.
of the UFO. Wait.
Well, no,
Well,
actually,
te-
not Roswell.
Dude,
it
you
would
could-
be the
Billy,
Betty and Barney
in,
Hill.
in modern day history, but
Sam and
you
Barney.
could pull up
Whatever
UFO
their name is.
hieroglyphics in Egypt and a whole
Yes.
bunch
Yeah,
of different
it goes
ancient
back
countries.
But
Like,
but
you know
yeah,
what I
but
mean?
but that's the only evidence. I'm talking about actual like
well
story set
Even,
story.
but that's even hearsay because they didn't have actual evidence, and like there could be hoax videos
Robert.
back then. It's just about their story and about how I don't know.
I
Like,
don't
how
know,
do
man.
we-
They had like the Polaroid pictures that are pretty hard to fake back then.
But-
You know what I mean? Like back then, when you showed somebody a picture, like it was a picture. Like nobody's
True.
editing
well,
it.
you
know
should
what
you
I
should
mean?
True.
you should see the Little Alien, the restaurant in Nevada.
Oh yeah, you went to that. Right?
Literally, like on a bulletin board, just straight all Polaroids of UFOs. Like you can't edit a Polaroid,
We gotta go there.
bro. I'm telling you, it was the greatest
Yeah, it
experience
sounds
ever.
dope.
It was amazing.
But
But
I want to know like
all right, let's put it like this. You're talking about why they didn't actually stop the nukes, why they didn't do that. How are they benefiting?
not
from
only
it?
that, I
It's
wanted
not
to-
their planet. Maybe they're just here and they're like, look, you're being stupid. Like you're gonna destroy your whole, what are we?
a world. Billy?
Yes. No, not our world. Our species.
the human
Okay.
race.
Okay. Yes. Well, there's also other UFO sightings. We might have talked about it last time, but I'm not really sure. I think I watched it afterwards. Vietnam War, they actually called them enemy helicopters, but the Vietnam couldn't afford and couldn't make helicopters, so they didn't have helicopters. So the code name for a UFO that was watching them just kill themselves in the jungle, each other, was an enemy helicopter, and they also had them in the Korean War as well, right? That's what we watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, some little docu-series. But I want to talk about like the evidence of it, like publicly, like how Bob Lazar, you know what I mean? Like Bob Lazar came out in I think 01 or 2001, and there was a whole press conference, and he did it like it was official on TV and everything, and he talked about the technology, how they reverse engineered UFOs.
Well, it was an interview. It wasn't a press conference.
No, there was a press conference.
Well, if it was a press
I'm
conference,
talking about a different one.
I'm
I'm talking about only the interview.
then it
was
had to have
after.
happened.
Okay, you're
It
right.
would have happened. It would have had to have happened around 1987.
Okay, but it was after. That would make sense then. His interview and then the press conference.
Yes.
Okay, but it was like official. Like people were. I don't know.
People
Maybe
forget, man.
that's what I'm saying. Like people just
Yeah.
didn't like. They just leaked it really fast, especially back in the '90s when you don't have that too much technology.
think about
If
it
you
too.
didn't catch the TV at 2 p.m., you missed it.
Yeah.
But think about it too. Like as humans, we move on so fast on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
like
can't, our attention span.
yeah, our attention span. It's like one news article. It could be like the biggest tragedy of all time, but then something
Next
else
week there's another
happens
one. We're
the
like,
next day,
ooh.
and you forget. You know? Can you imagine something that was like 30 years ago? Like people don't remember and or don't take it seriously, and so I don't know. Like how are you gonna be able to get people to believe unless you're doing, you know, the news media for what's happening right now, and then you follow it up with like, hey guys, remember 30 years ago, like this is what was happening. Like you have to remind people, you know, like look,
well,
like
that's
look
exactly
at
what the
this.
media does today. They're constantly reminding you of, say, the C word or the V word. You know what I mean? All those words. Come on.
Those words. I get what you're saying.
You not know what words I'm talking about? You like look at me like.
All right. Well,
No, I want to say that because the media throws like just so much in your face. It's repetitive stuff. So if not exactly what you're saying, if you're not repeating it constantly to the public, people are gonna be like, oh.
And that's why people forget though too.
It don't matter.
Like freaking, what's that guy? Cuomo killed how many people, and then they changed the narrative to him having
Fauci.
sex with women.
And then Fauci comes along, and then like it's just.
Hunter Biden.
Oh wait, yeah, and not to get off topic. I hate getting off topic, and we all know this. But did anybody hear of Fauci's name before COVID?
No.
No, but he's been around for a long time.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a hell about him being around for a long time. Did you hear of his name before COVID?
No,
but he's profiting now, and now he's one of the biggest names in the world. I'm just you know.
I hope he go to jail.
Fun fact.
Who even is
And
he?
He's a fall guy, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think he just they pulled him out.
Yeah.
His purpose in life was to be a fall guy. Exactly.
Possibly.
His whole career was leading up to this moment of him being used for this situation.
He's in big shit right now.
Maybe I doubt it, bro.
Well, I mean,
doubt
with the
it.
courts as of right now.
That's a whole different thing. Let's
Anyway,
not do that.
so there is this guy named John Greenwald Jr. And for anybody who wants to look up any of this information that he does, and he actually has his own website about all UFO, you know, sightings, all this type of stuff. It's called theblackvault.com. And he has all these, you know, paper clips and all this, you know, all this info on UFOs and different stuff that's going on between the UFOs and like the government and everything. He is actually working on a new story. I don't know if he posted it yet or not. I haven't found it, but he's pretty much is a story that's pretty much has the government admitting that they destroyed this fighter pilot's email. So with only proper authority can someone actually delete emails from a government server. And when he asked the government who was allowed to delete, who was it that deleted these emails and who allowed them to delete these emails, the government could give him no answer whatsoever.
Because they have no answer.
Yeah, because they had no reason to delete the emails except they would have been in hot water.
I can't even believe they're
But
I can't believe they're pulling this.
This just
Why can't you
it
believe
proves
though?
it proves
Look at
all of what
everything else they've done.
it just proves of all what Bob Lazar was talking about, and it just proves that he wasn't lying. You know, with he was saying how fast it goes, at what diameter it goes, and how fast it could change direction and all this
the whole
different
propulsion
stuff.
system. It was crazy.
Yeah, and he proved and it showed how much the government was trying to hide it.
Well, not only that, like, I don't know, man. Like, why? Is it the technology or is it just the fake UFO invasion? Feel me?
Elizondo, he was also like very close on he was learning about and actually trying to expose the SAP, which Bob Lazar was actually in. Now, I didn't really look up the SAP and what it really stood for, but I do know that I guess Bob Lazar might have something to do with S4, but I know that Bob Lazar was part of the SAP, and Elizondo was actually trying to expose them for whatever reason, and I think that's what was in the emails, and that's what got deleted.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, fuck that, man. Sorry for cursing. What do you... So, man, I can't believe that they're about to do this shit.
I love how in his description it says he's an American conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is I wonder if he actually said that or the person writing it.
Why would he say that? Nobody calls.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody called him a conspiracy theorist and still started catching on in the internet. No,
Like
you
nobody.
don't sit there back in the 90s and early 2000s and be like, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, why wouldn't you like preface it with the fact that he's an engineer?
He is.
Yeah.
He's a physics.
Yeah, he's an engineer and a government scientist, but no, the conspiracy theorist title comes above all that.
It's so stupid too because conspiring to theorize.
He said his story when he was
What it
talking
means.
when he was talking about seeing this Tic Tac UFO. He said that this was during when he was in the Navy, and they were doing a training test. And what would happen was it was a 2v2, what he called it, so 2 planes versus 2 planes. The blue side was the enemy side, the red side was the good side. So he was on the red side. So they would have the two blue planes go off, and as they went off, they would go, and an hour later they would go. So and then they would have to meet, and I guess they'd have to do some type of battles, whatever those airplanes do. And as they're flying towards the blue planes, far before they can even reach them, the director, I can't think of what they're called, the ones that are in that big tower.
The air
the
traffic
flight
controllers.
Air traffic controller, supposedly a week straight was seeing the same exact thing, UFO, like 12 times, come down and sit there for 3 hours straight and just analyze everything around them, like all land and all of us, like analyze all of us and then just pop right back up for like a week straight, 12 times. So as they're flying and they're going towards each other, that's when he spotted it on the radar. And he tried to shoot it. Well, not shoot it, but he tried to hold it on the camera,
track
and
it.
actually. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's crazy. And the fact that it was there for 12 weeks straight is pretty crazy. I mean, not 12 weeks. For a week straight, like more than 12 times is pretty crazy.
The fact that
Which shows that they know more about
there's
what the fuck's
documents
going on.
like proving all of this. That's the whole thing. Like people are if they do. Oh, that's what I wanted to get to. Like Project Bluebeam, that ties into all of this. You guys,
I've heard
for
of
people who don't know what it is, it's the Tupac hologram. That's
that.
technically Project because
That's how they're going to do the fake alien invasion.
exactly. Or they'll just use the UFOs that they have manufactured by themselves. You know,
well, not even
Well,
manufactured
they'll
by
probably do
themselves.
a mix of it.
Yeah, they'll do a mix of it because if
Yeah.
you do the initially if you do the fake alien invasion with your own UFOs and you kind of attack something theoretically like 9/11, you attack your own people and then get everybody bugged out and then just keep
And
doing the
united
Well,
hologram.
or either that or they
that.
just might use the UFOs that they reverse engineered.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, then it's not our UFOs. We
They
just
are. There are
reverse-
no. To reverse engineer something means you rebuilt it. So Bob Lazar rebuilt more UFOs, and he was making schematics and blueprints of how to actually make the UFOs.
Well,
you feel me?
but they learned how to drive those actual UFOs. But I don't know. A lot of this shit is.
What would you
crazy.
guys do, or what would the average person do when that shit happened?
Kicking out a lawn chair and just watching?
I don't
shit?
think it would be nothing you could do. You know what I mean, unless you're aware of like that they can make a fake UFO. You know what I mean? Like,
But
I
even
think-
then, what can you still do?
Okay, but what if it's not fake? and we think it's fake.
That's true.
What
That's
do you mean? What if it's not fake? Fake? I don't think we do. We just
Again,
explained
you
how-
can, yeah,
fake
you
how.
can't, you will never be able to
Stop doing that.
know whether it's fake or not unless this damn
Well,
craft
no, I'm
comes
saying-
down
yeah.
and something pops out.
Like
with
if
a
it's
big
in
ass
your
head and small
lawn
body.
and like a little man comes to you and starts talking to you.
Well, that's a whole different story. I'm saying like fake UFO invasion, as in like, oh, okay, so you're saying you can't know if it's fake?
Right.
I think they're gonna like just straight bomb us and then blame it on aliens.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I think is gonna
That's what
happen.
I think. But I
Yeah.
think, what do you think that like after we beat the aliens or make peace with the aliens? Think about that. Then what?
It's
We
all
have-
a ruse. Like,
Well,
it's
no.
all part
It's
of their plan.
It's a ruse. It's a part of a plan. If that happens, then that opens us up to other alien contact.
Yeah.
And boom, we have aliens. It's men in black. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
aliens are just all over the place. Reptilian. Yo, could you imagine?
we have little pet
would
aliens.
be like-
It's
Not
opens
even-
us up
yeah,
to
we have
like.
like a little pet alien dog that's some kind of other.
I mean,
This
think
is
about
my
It would
it.
be
pet
like Rick and
alien.
Morty.
His
Yeah.
name is
Yeah.
George.
If they're able to travel here, maybe they could teach us how to travel there.
I mean, that's what's up.
And
We
then
can
now
go-
we're fucking traveling in
so,
space.
but first,
We can't even learn how to breathe in space yet.
we're gonna have to.
if we even learn how to go to
Part of
space
the
yet,
homework
that's
work.
questionable.
Space.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Space station.
Did you guys see that thing about the space station where
Nah.
they threw a ball in the air or
And the
something?
shit just fell.
And it should have like floated,
Yeah.
and the ball just drops on the ground, and you're like, "Are you really
Oh
in
no,
space?"
no,
Well,
no!
No, I did see that.
I
No.
think you're
And
talking
then I
about
seen the
when
one
he
with
came,
it-
he came back from space and he kept forgetting supposedly that he was not in space. 'cause
No, that's not
the
what
same one?
happened.
Oh, I
No,
thought you-
they were transmitting a message from space and the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Everything else was like floating in the back, except this one ball. The guy fumbled and like dropped the ball.
Yes, and
Yeah.
he didn't throw it up. He like had
Yeah,
it and
he
went,
fumbled
"Oh,"
it.
and
That's what
fell.
it was. Yeah. he fumbled it by accident. But
Why
they
would
were.
he just have a ball on him?
I don't
Well,
know. They
they-
were just
they
playing
were
around
trying
with
to-
it.
yeah.
They was trying to show like how it could just.
But,
how it just
but yeah,
floats.
so he
yeah.
fumbled it, and it was live, so they couldn't edit it or anything like that. But it just like fell to the ground. So
Well,
you're
yeah,
like,
they were
it's
clearly
like,
not
It's
in
like a bunch of
space.
those times where
Yeah.
they show they'll show the engineers like doing like work on the space station and like they're like unscrewing something. You'll just hear the bolt like hit the ground. You'll hear a tick.
Yeah, and you,
Oops.
they'll even show shit that they do underwater and say it's like
Yeah, I've
outer
seen like
space. So
yeah,
you
this
see like water
bubbles.
bubbles and shit. Like
So why would they do that? Probably just because there's a whole bunch of alien aircrafts out there and you can't really show.
there's probably aliens in the water too, like deep down in that water.
That's probably what's at the
Yeah.
bottom
Yeah.
of the ocean.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Deep
Yeah.
ocean. I mean,
Well, how do we know that
we
aliens?
only wait. How much did they say? We
It's
only
like-
we
Well,
only know
alien
like
is just
30%
like an
of the
unidentified
ocean.
person at the end of the day, right? Like
Well,
An alien
no.
could
You have to-
just
I guess,
look
yeah.
like
Yeah.
An
Jay.
alien
You ever see the
technically.
movie
Yeah, well,
Underwater?
Dang, I look like an alien?
No, I'm
never
just
seen
saying like an alien could just look
What?
like us.
They could
but
be exactly.
Yeah,
from-
with just
but
no
lives
hair.
on Mars.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a
Very
big
possible.
It could be
possibility.
yeah,
My
absolutely.
dad, but without a nose. Me
He's
without ears.
yo, he's just stinging you.
Yeah,
He's-
damn.
looks like Voldemort.
Kill Bill without a hat.
Damn,
You.
bro.
That's an alien
Yeah.
right there.
For real.
I'm not
terrible.
even gonna lie with that one. What was I saying now? Damn, that just
Damn,
caught
he
me off
stung
guard.
you. You just talking about me.
I don't know, man. This is crazy.
Oh, have you ever seen the movie Underwater?
No.
It's with I don't even remember. Kristen Stewart, and I don't know. It's pretty much they're in the deep underwater, and like they're in this whole like pod thing, and like something just goes haywire, and they gotta like leave the pod, and like long story short, at the end there's this like, I say this monster like. This thing was huge. Like I looked at it, was like, oh shit! Like I got scared of this fucking monster on TV. But it was like when I say it was huge, and like it had me thinking after that, like what the hell is down there? Like I would love to know what the hell is.
I think I've read stories about like humanoid, but they're technically
Yeah.
not human. Like they
There
don't.
could be a whole
humanoid
society
creatures.
under there, and we
I
don't
mean,
even
why
know
wouldn't
it.
There be, but I've heard about like
Atlantis.
humanoid. It would be like kind of like mermaids, but humanoid creatures that. There's something about Earth that I've read about like gravity and like the physics of it, that if any like other species evolved and just kept evolving, eventually they would
Yeah.
walk on two legs and kind of and have a like an upper torso. You know what I mean? So the
Like the
fact
Little Mermaid.
exactly, but I don't think they're pretty. They probably look crazy
Probably
and like
hideous.
fishy.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
They say mermaid. The mermaids. Well, I mean,
They're
You-
pretty on land. But
Either you believe 'em
underwater,
or you
they
don't.
have like sharp teeth and.
How would they be pretty on land?
No,
Like when they-
I
It's
heard-
magic.
I
When they
heard no matter
transform
what.
into
I heard
humans?
no matter what,
I
they
don't
are
think
ugly.
I don't think that's what happens.
I
think
feel
that's
like-
just a fairy tale.
But that's
how
my fairy tale.
Okay, but
so
that's
when
not-
they come to
She
land,
Then
literally
again,
got
I'm
that
not-
from
I'm-
the Little Mermaid,
Yeah,
right? Like
you're just going Little Mermaid.
the
but I'm
Little Mermaid was beautiful underwater too.
okay.
I actually got it from the TV show Siren. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
but
I was just about to say
Yeah.
that there are two different types, and there's the siren, which is the evil
maybe
one.
they, but
Yeah.
that's yeah, but I'm just talking about the actual evidence throughout the mythologies and stuff, and that's not how it is. It's those are later date like fairy tales that came about. Like it's really realistically, why would they look like a human at all?
yeah.
Like that's
Because
just
they're half
They
human,
live
half
underwater.
fish.
I
First
mean,
of
why-
all, like
why
our
would
skin
anything
won't.
be half
Our,
human,
we
half
can't
fish?
live
Doesn't make any
underwater.
sense.
Like
Well,
our
the
skin
thing-
will
I
rip
think
off
I
our
think what
bones.
comes
Don't you
from
think
them
that
looking like
we
a human
did?
is they might have
No.
like the same type of hair. You know, like it
I
might be
don't think
like
so.
iguana's hair.
Why would
but
you?
But
why
the
would you
world
evolve?
was like super high percentage underwater at one point. You don't think humans at
That's why
one
I'm saying a
point-
human. No.
Yeah,
I'm
but
calling
you wasn't a
like
human
fish.
if
You
that's
weren't
the
a human.
case.
You don't have that what the hell is it called? Homo sapien DNA at all, or Homo genus? I think it's
It's not
called. the
Homo
one-
sapien.
I'm-
We do have.
There's
Homo
probably like a little
sapien.
tadpole,
No,
like
that's
a little
not- but
froggy.
yeah, I'm saying that
Just
it wouldn't be
swimming
at
around.
all because of there would be no Homo sapien in that creature in the water because that would be impossible for that creature to evolve. What I'm saying
well,
would
how
be like,
though?
Wait,
I personally don't know
because
how.
we
That's
would
why
be
I'm
coming
asking.
from because like theoretically, if evolution is correct and we're real, like that's how it goes. We came-
Evolution is a lie, though.
I pretty much agree with that 100%. Like for the most part, if evolution is right,
Yeah.
we were like tadpoles, then little fish, and then those fish grew some kind of feet, and they walked on the land and they were amphibious, and then eventually they stood up. and
Cavemen.
I really don't understand how they got from that amphibious stage to primate. That doesn't really make any sense.
It makes
to me.
absolutely
okay,
no sense.
But,
Yeah.
but that's how what they
Hypothetically.
say. But hypothetically, if those things just continued evolving in the water, why wouldn't? How I was explaining about physics and gravity, they would be not walking, but they would have a torso and arms.
I was watching this movie and they were saying something
What movie?
about. It was an obviously alien movie. I don't remember which one, but it was one of like a point of view.
From the
Look.
alien?
No, point of view look at
I would
somebody
love to
being
see that.
abducted by an alien. Anyway, so it was saying something about like a third of the world sees it, has UFO sightings every day. A third of the world has seen UFO sightings, but only 1% of that third has been abducted. So all these people have seen these suspicious spacecrafts in the sky and all this stuff, and the government just plays it off like it's nothing.
oh yeah,
like-
someone threw a disc by the White House earlier.
What are you talking
The
about?
president, or in that area. Oh yeah, they were playing with a disc earlier. That's just what it is.
Who?
He's explaining
He's
away.
explaining.
Just
Oh,
yeah, they're
exactly
explaining
what it is.
why it's.
Yeah,
Explain
they
what
always
it is.
make excuses for it. Like,
yeah.
you mean to tell me that people see this type of stuff every day,
So basically,
and
like,
you
1/3
have no proof or
And
no
1/3
evidence?
of the world is crazy, and then you would have
Yeah.
no proof.
Exactly.
Saying
and
that-
then 1% of that 1/3 is even more crazy because they are the ones that are being abducted by these aliens.
Why do you think people are abducted? What's going on there?
I wish I knew.
research purposes.
Absolutly.
But what
Research
makes them
purposes.
so
Batteries,
special? Why
like what
can't I
Jay
be
said
that
I don't
earlier.
think
special?
they're special. I just think they're
Batteries.
random.
Yeah, it's probably just random.
No,
Or maybe
no,
they
no,
are
no,
special.
no,
We don't
because,
know that.
No, because a lot of the people who have talked about being abducted have been followed by these spacecrafts
Well,
their
but
whole
hold
life.
on. It might be random because these people that get abducted aren't usually in like cities or
No, they're
busy
not.
towns. It's like rural areas and like
Yeah.
countryside,
Oh,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I
You
thought
get
you
what
were
I'm
saying
saying?
they
So I
are
think
in
maybe they're
cities.
like, all right, there's nobody over here, but these few people. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
open their ass.
Yeah.
How are they going to
Because
abduct
they're
someone
not
in, like,
around
New York?
people. Like you're not
Yeah.
just going. Like New York is a busy city. You're not just gonna drop down there with a UFO.
Maybe they're random, but you also got to think
Like
about.
you're gonna get like 7 people. Like however they are abducting people.
We all have different blood types, different. We
Yeah.
all have different DNA. Some
Yeah,
people only
yeah.
some have.
Well,
I think it's
but that-
RH negative DNA, and
that
that's like 1% of the world too. So like, how do we know those people? It has something to do
RH
with
negative.
the camera.
Something with that.
I think that stands for rhesus monkey blood, doesn't it?
What?
It does. I'm dead serious. Rhesus monkey blood. RH. Yeah.
But isn't that about how then you wouldn't have monkey blood? Is that what
Bro,
you're
I don't even know the whole
You said
story behind
racist
it.
monkey
No,
blood?
rhesus.
Reese's
It's like,
monkey.
saying? Recess.
it kind of
monkey.
does sound like that.
Yeah,
I think the whole concept might be racist though. Like, look it up.
We'll figure that out.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
another podcast.
You get a blood
That-
test,
well,
sir.
what I
You
was-
got racist monkey blood.
What's that called? Why is it called that?
It's called the Confederate.
I don't know. White people made it up 40 years ago.
Hold on.
No, I mean, but what I was saying was like a lot of the people who have been abducted. I cannot speak to. Who have been abducted have gone on by saying that they have been followed by these spacecrafts their whole life. They've seen them their whole life, and it's kind of like the movie The Fourth Kind. There's like 4 sets, and the first is being stalked, the second one is being messed with, the third one is this, and the fourth one is that.
People of Earth.
If they do get if they do get abducted and something gets done to them, and then they get put back, I wonder if it's kind of like, let's see how the human progresses in life after we did all this stuff to them. It's kind of like following your subject all the way through, their natural life process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why.
I mean, the first ever encounter of an abduction was Betty and Robert Hill, and that was the first time they ever seen one. But obviously everybody always was always skeptical about it because Robert was black and Betty was white, and this was during the segregation
That was
era.
from the American Horror Story.
That's unacceptable. Black.
That was during the segregation era. So obviously everyone looked at them like they were crazy.
Yeah.
But see, it's just
I
there's
mean,
an
they
excuse
were
to it all.
crazy.
There's always an excuse to it
We'll
all.
probably look at them crazy anyway, though.
Also, speaking of alien movies,
Or we're just gonna let Diggs get away with
Independence
this, huh?
there is
Oh, yeah.
there is a movie.
What am I getting away with?
There is a movie.
I can we didn't come
Busy
first.
people, busy
Diggs,
lives.
I'm fucking with you.
There is a
Nah, I know.
show
What?
called Resident Alien that's actually from the alien's perspective.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you just look
Where
this
is
up?
this?
No, I just remembered it.
We
Alright.
watched
Yeah.
it a while back.
Where
I
is it?
watched it. It's on Hulu.
Really?
Yeah.
look at
Is it a
people-
cartoon?
Nah.
No.
Alright.
It
I
is-
didn't think it was
so
that
good.
funny.
Is it supposed to be funny or is
It's
it?
like funny, serious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You should watch People of Earth too. That's about like
People on Earth. Or no, people.
people of Earth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like exactly how you explained. Like they get followed throughout their whole
They're
entire
in,
life.
they're in an abduction group.
Yeah, it's
so
like
it's
AA,
like a support
but-
group for people that got abducted.
It's so funny, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, we gotta wrap this up. Anyway, aliens,
right,
aliens are real. The United States knows about it, and
This
they're
was
hiding
interesting.
it. And there's a fake alien invasion coming.
Remember we
You
said
heard it
that.
here first.
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember we said
Yeah.
that.
You heard it
On
here
cha-
first.
On channel Eye2Eye.
On
Eye to Eye.
Eye channel.
Thank you for joining in with us today, everybody.
See you next time.
I'm Kill Bill.
King Diggs.
I'm Jay Soul. Like,
I'm Marquise.
Comment, subscribe, whatever.
Do
Peace
it.
out.
Yeah,
and if,
do it.
And
do
if
it.
you don't,
If you don't-
we don't like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bleep you.